Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network. The broadcast shows are for informational and entertainment purposes only. They are not designed to provide listeners with specific personal, medical, or counseling advice. Individuals with a medical issue should always consult their healthcare provider. MS&Me is not responsible for content of individual shows. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own. Enjoy the show.
Hey y'all, and welcome to Straight Up with MS and all its crazy little circles here on MS&Me Radio, which is brought to you by the MS Global Support Network. The network itself is awesome. If you haven't been to it, please check it out. There's lots of videos. There's lots of shows like mine with a bunch of different hosts. I'm not even sure how many we have anymore because we're constantly adding new people. So I'm sure there is somebody out there that you can relate to, whether it's me or one of the other hosts. And, all of us need somebody in our lives who understands what we're dealing with, and the MS&Me media is awesome for that. Like I said, they've got videos and they've got MS exercise videos on there. It's called the MS Gym, and it's a proven to many of us, although science is just now starting to catch up with us. I saw something and posted it on my Twitter account because this is sort of what I've been saying all along, is that while you can't beat this disease solely based on your diet and exercise, you can reclaim a lot of what you left by doing the correct types of exercises. And this isn't the same old thing that people normally do. My husband gets out there, and when he does exercise, and he's got his big huge barbell weights and all of this stuff, and that's not the type of exercise people with MS need. We need to reconnect our bodies and our brains and make everything function again. And I hear people say all the time that, well, I can't feel my feet, or my feet cramp or get locked, or I haven't got any strength in this muscle or that muscle, and it just shakes or it just collapses. And that's what these exercises are for, is for those of us who are having these kinds of problems. I have completely reclaimed my legs. I couldn't feel my feet for well over 3 years. I couldn't feel my thighs for longer than that. And now I can feel my entire legs. My hips wouldn't hold up, so if I lifted one leg, then my hip would kind of collapse and my leg would fall and drag. So these things we can retrain to make them go away and make them better. And that's not to say that it happens overnight, because it doesn't. It took me a solid 2.5 years of every day doing these kinds of exercises. Even though I only went to therapy twice a week, I did these exercises religiously every single day. And that's what it takes to reclaim these broken connections. And we hear big terms, like paresthesia. I can't even say it. It's basically a paralysis from MS, and it's Rathesis, I think is how they spell it, but I can't seem to get the word to come out my mouth right today. So we'll go based on the terminology we know, which is it does not work. You know, I can't force it to work, and that's what you might think, but you can. You can force it to work. If you've ever seen a video of balancing babies, these are 4-month-old babies, and you'll see, and I would never, ever have done this with one of my kids and wouldn't recommend it, but it does work. By the time a baby is 4 months old, there are muscles developing in their little legs and in their little arms and their little cores, and you know, all these muscles are forming, but they're not really as strong as what are needed to actually be able to stand up and walk, which is why you very rarely would see a 4-month-old baby standing. But with this balance and baby thing, somebody holds the baby's feet in their hand. That's how little they are, 2 feet in one hand. And then they can just keep those feet aligned underneath their core, and you'll see a very happy and excited baby to be upright like that. And they're moving their arms and they're wiggling, and as long as mom or dad or whoever's holding them keeps their core centered underneath their feet, they stay upright. And that's sort of the basis for how I forced my legs to work. I made sure that I was centered over top of them. And by standing on them, you know, this helped to regain the connections. It helped to strengthen the muscles. There are lots and lots of things you can do. And from what I have seen, the MS Gym does a pretty good job of explaining and showing this to us. And it, of course, has exercises for everybody, regardless of what level you're starting out at. So same with the routines that I do, you know. Leg lifts, I was telling you, are some of the things that are really hard for me because my thighs are really weak, and so I've gotten slack on doing them because last summer I got completely out of my routine, and it's been very difficult to get it back. Routines are easy to break for anybody and harder to keep for anybody. But these routines are so imperative to those of us who have a severe form of MS, and we have to diligently do these things, or else our bodies are going to go right back to where they were. The phrase we've all heard, if you don't use it, you lose it, takes place in a day for us. You know, it takes much longer for the normal, everyday individual to lose muscle. And by losing muscle, I mean actual muscle mass. It takes them a whole lot longer. So I have quite a bit of muscle atrophy, especially in my upper arms. And I am going to solve this problem by exercising and rebuilding those muscles, because there is some muscle there. I have I think it's your biceps that you would do a curl with. I have those, but the rest of the muscles in my upper arms are just gone. And you can you can see the atrophy. Atrophy has a certain look to it. And you can, a lot of people would think that it's extra skin if you're skinny, or it was cellulite if you weren't. And that's just not the case. It's neither. This is what you call atrophy. I might can get somebody to take a picture, because I can't take a picture of the atrophy myself. But if I can get somebody to, I'll take a picture of it and post it on my Twitter account. Did I even tell you guys who I am? I doubt I did, because my brain function, and this is why I do cognitive exercises as well. My brain, my mind doesn't always remember what I'm saying, and sometimes it's just forgetting to say something. So my name, in case you don't know me, is Patty Long. I did not say that before, I'm pretty sure. And you can find me at MS&It for Life on Twitter. That's MSENIT, the number 4, LIFE. I've also started a YouTube page. And on my YouTube page, while I don't have any videos of my own, I have started finding, and I've just started this, so don't expect a lot yet, but I've started finding things that I wanted to link to it. So like Dr. B at Ohio Health, he does some amazing videos, and they're usually very short videos, explanations of different parts of MS and what's going on. He even did one, the latest one that I saw was on fatigue, and he said much of the same things I did. Fatigue is caused by poor sleep. Fatigue is caused by not getting enough exercise. Fatigue is caused by depression. Fatigue can be caused by illness or injury. Fatigue is one of the major issues in MS, because it can be caused by so many things, and it just loops around. So maybe you get a bad night's sleep, and then the next day you have this exhaustion, and the exhaustion makes you sad. And then the sadness turns into full-blown depression, or just nearly full-blown depression, which is just as bad in my opinion, because there you go, it adds to the fatigue problem. So you're more exhausted, and then you don't feel like doing your exercises. So that adds to it, and it just piles on, and the cycle continues. So these circles we want to break. And fatigue is definitely one of the biggest ones. So that is, I hate to use the term fatigue, because fatigue sounds like it's nothing. When this exhaustion is so crippling to so many people. I mean, I can't function at all if I'm too exhausted. I can't talk, I can't walk, I can't think, I can't do anything. I'm clueless as to what is going on. And I don't know if that's why sometimes I go missing, and this is what I call it. I don't know if this happens to other people or not, because like many, I have more than one issue. MS is not the only problem that I have. I've talked about having a brain tumor removed. It was a meningioma, and it was removed last summer in August, and I got it removed for my birthday because I had no fear of the surgery and would have had it done much sooner. But apparently that wouldn't have given my family enough time if I had done it immediately. They needed time, and then to get scheduled on a day that the surgeon was also going to be free. And in surgery, that took a while. So I had to wait another month or so. And the first date they had available was my birthday. So when they realized that, they're like, well, we can change that date if you want to, but why? That sounded like a good birthday present for me to get this thing out of my head, and I am so glad that I did. But I don't know if my going missing, as I put it, where I have a day, several days, sometimes a week that I don't even know existed. I have nothing recorded because I write down pretty much every day I write down something about my day, but I'll have completely nothing. I'll have nothing for those days written, and I'll look on my phone to see if I talk to anybody. And sometimes I will see that I got a message from somebody, a text message, and I sent them a reply, or that I got a message on Messenger, or I wrote something little on Twitter, or sent a message to a friend on Twitter. Sometimes I can know that day existed just because I've got my Twitter account and my cell phone. But a lot of times on those days, there is nothing. Nothing. I had no messages, no nothing from that day. And I can't remember a single thing about it. And I just sort of go missing. And that's kind of what happens. I mean, I went missing last week. I remembered talking to somebody on Monday and doing chat MS and having to leave early from my chat MS because somebody came over. And that was my daughter, actually, who came over. She came to get our health insurance cards because we've got new cards. And, as everybody does for the new year, and everybody panics with their insurance for the new year because you don't know, what's changed exactly. And for us, it really changed. We went from an EPO to a CDHP plan. So we have to pay 100% until deductibles met. Thank God for Biogen. I'm on Tecfidera, which is a Biogen medication. And yeah, medication, if I had to actually pay it, would have been very expensive. I was charged $5,197, I think it was. Or maybe it was a little less. But anyways, yeah, it was a little less because I also got a prescription of something else refilled that was $26.95. So whatever that is, since I don't do the math. But anyways, this $5,000 was paid 100% by Biogen. So not a dime of that money came out of my pocket. And I thank Biogen every single day for doing this. And every single one of our DMTs are considered biologics. These types of medicines have to come from a specialty pharmacy. They can be shipped directly to you. Some of them will try and ship them, if you like, to your local pharmacy. Personally, that would just mean I'd have to find a way to get there. And since I don't drive every day, I'd have them shipped to home. That seems logical to me, and more convenient. And I'm doing that more and more with everything because I'm not able to go every day. Obviously, if I cannot think well and I'm flip-flopping from this to that and the other and not knowing what I'm doing, I don't need to be behind the wheel of a car. Obviously, if my arms aren't working well enough to hold on to the steering wheel and turn it how I want to, I don't need to be behind the wheel. If my legs aren't working right and I'm having to push my knees down to push the pedals, then I probably should not be driving. So, there's all these days that I just don't need to be out there on the road, and I have to make the decision not to be an idiot. And I'm pretty good at making that decision as far as driving goes and not being an idiot and driving when I shouldn't. At the same time, I'm not giving up my driver's license. That's my independence, so that on those days that I feel well and that things are coming together for me, I can get out there and do things. Being able to go like that is important to all of us. And I think a lot of people give up their driver's license. They turn them in. They hand them back to the highway department. And I don't really understand that, because just because you can't drive today doesn't mean you're not going to be able to tomorrow. I went for 2 years without being able to be behind the wheel, possibly longer than that, really. And, I would attempt it, but I probably shouldn't have, kind of thing, because I was being stubborn. But if I had given up my license then, I wouldn't have one now. And now I can drive. I had told y'all that part of my New Year's resolutions was to get out more often. And I want to be able to do that 4 times a week. Now I'm having to build up to it. And this past week, I didn't get to go anywhere. I didn't go to pool on Sunday. I did get a text message on Thursday that I didn't see on Thursday, but it was asking if I came to pool. But that was one of the days I was missing. And this past Sunday, it was just way too cold, and the place where I would be shooting pool at on Sundays is a huge building with heat that doesn't really work in this really, really cold weather that we've been having. This is unusual for South Carolina. We never get weather this cold for this long. But I would have ended up going in and having a frozen attack, as I call it, where every muscle in my body freezes. And so I didn't go. And that was because I didn't need to hurt for the next 3 days after putting myself in a position for one of these attacks. And unfortunately, bundling up just wouldn't work. I mean, I've tried that before, but you breathe the air, and the air itself, 10 minutes later, even bundled up, breathing cold air, and here I am starting to shake and look like, I'm having a seizure or something. So, and I can't talk, so that just is even worse. But I did not go. And then last Thursday night, the Thursday before it, I also didn't go because I didn't know the day existed. I didn't know Wednesday. Well, no, I did know Wednesday existed, but not Thursday. And I only remembered one little thing about Tuesday, nothing about Monday, and nothing about Friday. And it's like I just came to. And all of a sudden, I'm on this different day and going, huh? So I don't know if this is MS or if this has to do with that tumor, because I do know that where the void is in my head from where the tumor had been taken out is now just a pocket of fluid. And I was told it would take 6 months to a year for all of this to heal. So I haven't had as many missing days now as I used to. And of course, right after surgery, it was really bad. And before surgery, it was even worse. So maybe it's related to that tumor. I've never really asked others with MS if they go missing. I'd be interested to know which it is, because a lot of times the doctors, when you have more than one condition, don't really know, is it the MS, is it the tumor, is it the void now because the tumor's gone, but is it this or that? And so I haven't really had a direct answer to that. And then, other people have high blood pressure and have other autoimmune conditions, which I have another autoimmune condition as well. It's called undifferentiated mixed connective tissue disease. It's called undifferentiated because not any particular tissue disease has been decided yet. I have not got any signs of lupus, and that's the main one that is a connective tissue disease, is lupus, and it comes with the butterfly rash, and you can also do blood tests. So my blood tests say I have something going on here with connective tissues. It's an autoimmune disease, but they don't know which one. So for now, that one's in limbo. But who knows? Maybe my blood test was wrong. But that's why they do these blood tests, and that's why it's important to understand your blood tests, which I'll be talking about next week, because oh my gosh, I've been talking already for 26 minutes, so it's time for me to say goodbye already. Boy, do I need more time to run my mouth. I do like to talk, in case you can't tell. I love telling stories, and I really haven't told any stories. But do check out the MS&Me media online and their videos. I think you'll really enjoy their videos. And I'm sure there's a link in there to Dr. B. If you can't find the link to him, Aaron Boster, Dr. Aaron Boster at Ohio Health MS. If you can't find the link through MS&Me Media, you can find a link to all of his videos on my page with YouTube. And I also have the MS&Me Media link to that. And again, that's it. MENIT, the number 4, LIFE. So until next week, I want to say thank you for listening to me chitter chatter on, and have a wonderful week. And hopefully this week I won't go missing, although I cannot go out because we are still frozen. As a matter of fact, I got 4 inches of snow now laying in my yard, and the town has been shut down. This is the second day that it has been completely shut down, and schools even closed for the rest of the week. So it's crazy around here when we get snow like this, and the power surges, and unfortunately a lot of people are without power. So let me say goodbye. I'm way out of time. Until next time, I thank you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful week. And thank you, Erica Lyons Richardson, for bringing us all together. Goodbye. I'll see you later.